What do you think about Lewis Cine at 32 and George Pickens at 34? I'm going to give this one to my guy AG. He likes to talk about Cine, and I think he's got interesting words about Cine.
Right, right. I feel like Lewis Cine he's a product of his environment. He's a safety that's more physical than coverage. He's basically a Tracy Walker on steroids, and that's nice and all good, but a Kirby Joseph can help me in coverage. I think a field safety is what you need right now. A field general is what you need. As far as George Pickens goes, that's the nastiest receiver in the draft. That's the guy who's going to block. That's the guy who's going to get after it on every single play, give you the same route look, the same route tree. This dude hustles 100% every play, every down, and that's the type of dude that you want to compete with at practice and want to go to war with in a game. Lewis Cine, not so much. That's not my guy, but George Pickens is a dog.
$10 super chat from the Travis the Goat Doily. How mad would you be if we draft Trayvon Walker at 2? He's the third best player on my draft board. How mad would I be? I'm not going to be that mad in all honesty. I'm not going to go flip out if they feel that he has the higher ceiling. Because if you got to think about it's probably Kayvon Thibodeau or him when they're going edge. Maybe they're not sold on Kayvon Thibodeau. Maybe they feel he's not that type of guy, that's a Dan Campbell type of guy that doesn't put it in. So I'm not going to be too upset. How would you feel about that, AG?
Well, honestly, this is going anything but quarterback. This is a move to be the safest in the room. So, obviously, if he's that second on your draft board, I'm looking at Thibodeau and I'm looking at Karlaftis. Karlaftis doesn't give you that much production from a stat standpoint, and even though he had the most pressures in college, he didn't get to the quarterback. And then we look at Thibodeau; he has those accusations, as for mentioned. This would be just look. Aiden Hutchinson's gone. I'm going to take this guy who gives me 110% every play, and he's a great value version of Aiden Hutchinson.
Hashtag feelings if we take Willis at 2. And a lot of people don't want Willis. I'm not going to be upset about it. You're not going to see me go crazy. I understand this is a rebuild, and I don't have a problem with sitting a quarterback behind Jared Goff for a year. I don't. I'm very patient. I'm patient. I know a lot of people would be upset about that. I'm not going to be upset about it because you got to ask yourself, is Jared Goff the future quarterback for this football team? If you say no and they feel like he is, that's what happens. What do you think? Would you be upset?
Well, no, I wouldn't be upset because I know how this fan base is. I know exactly what the Lions are trying to do. The Lions are trying to establish this culture. They're trying to move forward and past all the BS of the past. And, quintessential, getting a quarterback, you're going to give that quarterback 4-5 years to grow. This team is in no position to win tomorrow. And I think that's what people think Jared Goff gives them is the ability to win tomorrow. See, if you draft a quarterback next year, it sounds great. But check this out. We have to get through the season. The season's going to be we lose, and then the last 6 games of the season, we win. And in the last 6 games of the season, y'all want to extend Goff. And then we have this 4-year extension, $120 million, $300 million, or whatever it is, and then y'all don't want to draft a quarterback ever again. You might as well take the opportunity now.
I always look. In Brad Holmes, I trust. I'm putting my trust in him and his the way that he drafted. He drafted really well last year. If he can do it last year, if he can do it, if he believes in him, and he can do it again. And, he did draft Jared Goff. We understand that, but he's also got John Dorsey that did pretty good job finding some players. Lions 32 or in the later rounds should look into a tall wide receiver to help the deep ball. At 32 or in the later rounds. Look, to me, it's just BPA. I feel like there's going to be a lot of good players, wide receivers taken early, especially now with Aaron Rodgers' team getting another first-round pick, Kansas City getting another first-round pick. I think there's going to be a lot of wide receivers taken in the first round. We may not be able to get the best available wide receiver, and maybe a Lloyd or someone else somehow falls there. So it just depends who is there. I'm taking BPA. If it's a wide receiver, I'm taking a wide receiver. What about you? What do you think about that?
Well, honestly, I think that the closer we get to the draft, the more receivers are coming out the woodwork. I would fasten up my seatbelt because Christian Watson went from the 97th best player in the draft, and now he's at 50. And then pretty soon he's going to be at 34. I'd be hard pressed to not take him at 34. Taking him at 32 or taking a wide receiver at 32, knowing that I'm going to have another pick, and the Jags just used all their money up in getting a wide receiver. I'm going to have my pick of the litter, and then we're going to still have Jalen Tolbert at 66 and 97. We're still going to have receiver. I think we go receiver twice and we double dip. But if I were to be conservative, I would get a receiver at no later than 34.
I haven't really heard your thoughts on these two players, Daxton Hill and Christian Harris. What would be your thoughts there about going, basically back-to-back 32, 34? Yeah, it's not 33, but that's what it'd be. What would you think about that?
If those players are there, I would like them both. Both of them give me opportunities in zone that I don't have. Again, Christian Harris is one of the best zone coverage linebackers in the draft. No one talks about him because he's less than 6'2" and he's not blazing fast, running like an antelope. But I love the fact that he's an athlete, and I love Daxton Hill. I did a film study with all 22 film on my channel of Daxton Hill. Daxton Hill just does the job. He does the job, whether it's taking someone out at the corner slot or being a safety. He just does the job, and I love that about him.
Okay, so you go edge 2, you get your safety at 32, and you get your linebacker at 34. That's all the needs that you need. Your defense is pretty squared away.
Right, and then hey, I gotta hustle up and get out that third round, come back to the second to get my boy Christian Watson. Can't leave without him.
Question right to it. What do you think of Christian Watson, and when should we take him? I love Christian Watson. He really showed out. The NFL Combine, people say, I don't worry about none of these numbers and speed. Well, I kind of do a little bit, and he showed out to me. I would take, if he fell to the third round, yeah, don't go. If I haven't taken a wide receiver yet, why the hell not?
Yeah, oh, it's on me?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me tell you something. A lot of these players go to the Combine, they bank on the Combine. All right. The Combine, they run for months to get ready for the Combine, and then they go out there and perform. Christian Watson, though, had the best week of practice at the Senior Bowl. He shined above people that played in SEC football, in FC football. So I'm looking at the player, the composite, 6'5", explosive, two-cone drill, amazing. Every metric, and then he balled against competition that was better than him. I'm taking him.
And in the Senior Bowl is vital.
34.
How many times have we seen players, Deebo Samuel, out of nowhere, Senior Bowl, blow up, ends up being a stud. Cup, blow up. I always like looking at this is why I was talking to you and the guys behind the scenes. We're really analyzing the Senior Bowl and how important it is to see, who can show out, because you're dealing with competition of people of your peers. Now you have a chance for individuals who's not really noticed to make a name, and he did. How do the Lions become more nationally recognized other than winning? How about Hard Knocks? I think that would help out, too, a little bit of, showing the personality of Dan Campbell and Jamal Williams, other individuals out there that's got that way of blowing things up. I think that's a way to get recognized. Getting a game on the big time and blowing a team out, that would help too. There's a couple things you can do and actually win on Thanksgiving. What is other ways for you that the Lions could get recognized more?
I like the Hard Knocks idea. I'm a person that's a realist. I'm very critical of my team. I support my team to the fullest. I'm a season ticket holder. And if I hear about culture one more time, I don't know what I'm going to do. Culture is great, but I want to see the culture. I want to actually put it to film. I want to actually show to the world that we have changed. We are different. There's no difference in talking to somebody, oh, the culture's great, or scripting these athletes to say, oh, the culture's great. I want to see it. Let me judge for myself with my own eyes. And if that's the culture, if it's the new culture, show it off.
Winning solves everything, and that's something that we haven't done. But I do feel like the Matt Patricia really hurt the culture here in Detroit, because we're hearing the stuff with Urban Meyer, how ridiculously bad it was over there, and it just destroyed a locker room. And I think Matt Patricia hurt this team. And we're kind of on the right path a little bit before him, and it really hurt us. What do you think about giving up a compensatory 5th-round pick for Baker Mayfield and let him compete for a starting role against Jared Goff? He could be our backup if he loses. Interesting take here. What do you think about the Baker Mayfield situation? Because it does look like if he does get dealt, it's not going to be, it's going to be something like a compensatory 5th or a 6th round pick.
Yeah, I just want to say, get the likes up, people. Love this man. I love this man. This guy puts me on. I enjoy this channel, man. Been a huge fan for a long time. So get the likes up, people. My biggest thing when it comes to this trading for Baker, y'all did this with Trinity Benson. Trinity Benson was on his way to be released. You didn't have to give up anything. I like Baker Mayfield. I'm not a person that's against him. I like the idea of competing with Goff, but I'm not going to give up anything for someone who's going to get released anyway. So what I would do is I would sit tight right now, because it's going to be a 1-year rental for whatever I give up for him. And then it's no guarantee that we're going to extend him and extend Goff and all this other nonsense or craziness. You could just draft a quarterback to ease your problems, but you're going to have a quarterback going into his 5th-year option and one guy going into his final year on the team. And now we're talking about extending one of them, and we only have one starter. It doesn't work out.
Well, he would be a big name here in Detroit, and it's very interesting. Obviously, I mean, he comes with everything. I just don't think it's I just don't see that. He comes with everything, man. You know, he's coming with everything. I just don't believe that we're in the situation of doing that right now. We went cheap with the backup role with Tim Boyles and went really cheap with David Blau. You know, his cap hits, what, $17 million? I don't think. I mean, we weren't willing to spend for anybody else. Why would we spend for him? I don't see that happening, in my opinion. It would be, I tell you what, we'd be on Hard Knocks for sure.
Right,
You'd be no doubt that would be slamming it in. You're on Hard Knocks now. It would be fun. It would be some must-see TV. I tell you, and I got HBO. Hey, I'd watch it.
Go ahead. That practice. That first practice on Hard Knocks with Baker and Goff, I'm willing to bet neither of them get past 20 yards throwing. Neither of them throw past 20 yards.
Well, I'll tell you what, Tim Boyle can throw past 20 yards. He's just extremely inaccurate. he got a cannon, but it ain't going anywhere near you.